Mr. Chairman, and thanks for being here today with us. At the VA, serving veterans should always come first. We have to value whistleblowers who call out bad actors and toxic culture. In fact, that's why a lot of us supported the Accountability Act, which was a big stretch for a lot of us to give the VA the tools to make sure that everyone, from the secretary all the way down to everyone who's in the cafeteria, is serving the veteran, not the bureaucracy. And I think we were on board with that. Former Secretary Sulkin said he didn't think that this would be a tool that was going to lead to mass firings. Dan Caldwell of Concerned Veterans of America wrote an article entitled, "One Accountable Government Board Stands in the Way of VA Accountability," because before this bill, senior officials could appeal decisions to the Merit Protection Systems Board. Now they can't. In that article, he writes that that board had a history of blocking demotions or firings of negligent and bad senior VA employees. And the current SVAC chairman, Senate Chairman Isaacson, said he thought the bill would create a culture of accountability at the VA. So at its passage, a lot of Democrats signaled concern that this would be taken advantage of. Ultimately, supported the bill. I supported the bill because we thought it was the best compromise to hold the VA accountable to fix its own culture. And I just want to explore the possibility that, and you've addressed some of the numbers, that we not create a culture of fear as opposed to accountability. A culture of fear that makes the VA's employees feel like any small mistake could mean losing their job, or prevents whistleblowers from stepping up and having faith in the accountability system. My colleague, Ms. Custer, rightly observed last year that senior executives are the level at which decisions end up being made, not the lower level folks. So I wonder, also I just refer to one more thing. VA put a press release out on April 25th, 2018. It's very short. It says, under VA's new leadership, which is now firmly aligned with President Trump and his priorities, the department's operations have improved in many ways. In a number of cases, employees who are wedded to the status quo and not on board with this administration's policies or pace of change have now departed VA. I wonder under what circumstances you think that disagreeing with the administration is a fireable offense?
I think that's ever factored in any of the processed actions that we've taken at VA.
Well, I guess let me explore. Obviously, if someone at the senior, I don't know who these individuals are. I appreciate some, maybe without identifying who they were, kind of what does that mean? People who weren't on board. Why have they left? Were they asked to leave, or what is that? What's the context for that?
Anytime you start shifting the operation of an organization to start focusing on things like veterans, whether it's electronic health record, Mission Act, those kind of things, folks realize maybe on their own that they don't want to be there. I think there's a few cases that we could look at of folks in senior positions where they advocated for a different approach, and then the organization went in a different direction, and they just felt like that wasn't a place they wanted to be anymore. That's a personal decision people get.
And so that in these cases, really, it just dawned on them that I don't match this organization anymore. It's time for me to leave. Is that what you're saying? No one was asked to leave?
No, not in the cases I think you're probably referring to, because those really ended up being, in fact, some cases we found that there really wasn't an alignment at all with where the VA was going. So I'm actually surprised they stayed as long as they did.
And I understand, too, that if someone's not on board with the policies at the high senior level, that they might be asked to leave.
Well, I would even go even further than that. I mean, we're not talking about policies. We were talking about things like the electronic health record, the decisions that were made there, both by Dr. Shulkin, by this committee, or by the Congress, and also the Mission Act. I mean, we have some very historic and transformative changes happening at VA that are going to change the status quo. And I think when that really became the reality for the organization, folks had to sit back and take stock of that and see what they wanted to do.
How are you assuring that people aren't disciplined or fired for their own personal political beliefs? And we just had an example of this in the FBI, where a gentleman was, by all evidence, was doing his job, actually was removed from the case because there was a perception he was biased. How do you parse out when people's personal feelings about the administration might be out of line, but they're doing their job okay? Are you trying to protect those people?
When those people, in that case, make a whistleblower disclosure on something unrelated to politics, absolutely. They get the same protections as whistleblowers across the board. In misconduct cases, misconduct is not, it has a very specific definition. It's not political. It's
Has nothing to do with a person's political beliefs, individual political beliefs.
No.
Okay. My time has expired, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you.